Don't miss the debate by Nigerians and friends of Nigeria on issues surrounding Nigeria from around the world. My name is Kawo-Kaduna. Is of course the leading opposition leader in Nigeria. So later in the program, we're also going to discuss young Nigerians, young professional Nigerians in the UK and in diaspora and at home in Nigeria. They form an organization. They want to impact the country positively. So Deji Balogun is going to join us and is going to tell us how can they join in the nation building process. Without further ado, I will pass you on to Ngozi. But before Ngozi takes over, let me tell you that we're going to throw the phone lines open as soon as Ngozi is done with the news. Ngozi, you're welcome again.
Thank you, Kaide. Yes.
It's hot in the UK, man.
It is. Are you complaining?
I am complaining, seriously.
Don't complain. Yes, it's very, very hot. And in the studio, we actually have our AC on, but it's not doing anything. Anyway, on my part, I am not complaining because I love the heat. Kaide, as you were saying earlier, yes, there was a bomb blast, as we know. And the explosions, there were 2 of them in Kaduna, killing at least 40 people. Some people say it's up to 74. As yet, we're not very confirmed. But one thing we do know for sure is that people did die. The first explosion was targeted, apparently, at Islamic cleric Dahiru Bauchi. And the second one was targeted, as Kaide said, opposition leader Muhammadu Buhari. So far, no one has claimed responsibility over the twin attacks that's happened. But of course, there's this allegation going on that it is definitely Boko Haram. Whether this is true or not, we're yet to find out. As Kaide said, the phone lines are going to be open very soon, and that is going to be discussed in detail. Now, next news, so health in Nigeria, Kaide. Health. Polio in Nigeria may actually be eradicated by 2018. Apparently, Nigeria could cut down number of polio cases next to 0 by next year. This is because the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation supports global initiative to wipe out polio. The initiative includes campaign, which is going on in Nigeria, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. And Bill Gates is saying that he reckons we have a pretty optimistic view of what can happen in Africa in those 2 areas. And the 2 areas he's mentioning, of course, is polio and malaria, which is one of the biggest killers in Africa. So by 2018, Nigeria may actually not have a case of polio anymore. You know, fingers crossed, that'd be a very good thing to have. And keeping on health, the Ebola virus, I'm so interested in this because it's one of the deadliest killers ever, has now been spotted in a 40-year-old man in Lagos, of all places. And of course, as we know, Lagos is massive people there, 21 million or so. And a Liberian man has been, Liberian, I beg your pardon, in his 40s, has just been tested for it. If it confirms it, it will be the first ever recorded case of Ebola in Nigeria. And of course, most populous nation. So there is that fear of what that would signify if that really does happen. So we'll wait and see what happens over that one, and I will keep you updated on that. Moving on. So yes, football. So the Nigerian Football Federation has revealed that it wants to go into discussions with, what's his name, the coach, the Super Eagles coach, Stephen Keshi, to persuade him to return back as the coach to Super Eagles. Don't forget that he was, his contract was allowed to expire after the World Cup. And now he is, this is allegedly, he's saying that he wants to have them up his salary of $30,000 a month to more. The more, we don't know for sure, but that's what he wants. And he's saying that he's already had history with them where they're not paying him on time. So unless all these things, this dispute are resolved, he's not coming back. What do you think about that? Do you think that $30,000 is enough a month for a coach of Nigeria in comparison to what other coaches on this part of the world get? Tweet me, let me know what your thoughts are on that one. Kaide, did you hear about this, that Obi Ezekwesili had her passport seized this morning?
Yeah, yesterday actually,
yesterday
almost
morning.
3 days now. Yeah, she was harassed at the Lagos airport.
Airport, yes. So earlier she tweeted, a couple of days ago, she tweeted that no one can seize my democratic rights. I refuse to let the SSS get away with trampling on my constitutional right. And, you know, everybody's now saying that they reckon it's because she's at loggerheads with the government, because she's been campaigning very voraciously about the missing girls that have been missing since April. And obviously the daily sit-outs of Bring Back Our Girls members, you know, they do this thing at Unity Fountain in Maitama in Abuja. Yeah, it doesn't sit well with the government. That's the allegation they're saying, and that's why they were harassing her at the airport. They did give her a passport back, and she made it to London where she was coming to in the first place. But my question with that one is, what does that signify?
What I don't understand, though, is with Obi is that she seems to be a friend of the Nigerian government. I mean, I watched the interview she had on Ad Talk, and she was like very soft on the government.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I would think that it was a refined version of Reuben Abati. She was so polite, so she was.
Don't you think
so I'm actually quite shocked that the government find her an enemy, because she's been focused on Bring Back Our Girls. Yes. She doesn't want to involve politics. She's been, even on that Ad Talk program, she was pressed hard to criticize the Nigerian government, and she refused.
Didn't, yeah.
So I don't know why the Jonathan government keeps scoring an own goal and harassing someone that is literally harmless.
It looks like she's on their side, if you like.
So when I watched the program, I was like, what? You know, she's not linking the disappearance of the girls to corruption. She's not linking it to the inefficiency, the cluelessness of the Jonathan administration. She's just saying, you know what? I have confidence in the Nigerian government, and I felt that was quite noble on our part. I am not in any way charitable of the Jonathan administration. I think this is one of the most clueless administration we've ever had in the country. You can always take me on that. The phone lines are going to be open. If you think that is not true, you can challenge me. I don't know how we end up where we are now in that country, but it's a free country. So Ngozi, you're still going to be on. We're going to throw the phone lines open right now. Our producer Tony is working around the clock to make sure you have your say. But let me first take this tweet, and it says, Femi Bankole Alibe says, we are watching you live online, and I'm going to send my comment via Twitter. You know, it shows that, and these are comments from outside Nigeria. And we've got someone who says, I'm sure his attackers didn't know he's the one, or else they could have used his death to achieve their evil aim. That's on Twitter. So a lot of conversation going on Twitter on General Buhari's. And look, if you want to criticize General Buhari, you're free on this program. I am a very, very, very firm supporter of the General, and I'm always very transparent about where I stand. It's independent of the show. I think in our country, you've got to take a stand. I don't have any beef with anybody supporting the other parties. That's fair. We must have a conversation. I just personally don't want our country to end up in a one-party state. And I think it's important that democracy should be promoted in such a way that everyone would have a say. But on the issue of General Buhari, I think it's a debate that needs to be put out there. What are the implications? If he had been killed yesterday, what would have happened to our country? Ngozi, I don't know what your views are on that. You know, if Buhari had if they had successfully killed General Buhari yesterday.
I think that if that had happened, for one thing, obviously, it would open up that floodgate of people saying that they don't trust the government of the nation in terms of looking after the citizens in the first place. And also, there will always be that conspiracy theory that's going around that the opposition, obviously, they do not want Buhari to succeed, you know. So I think, for one thing, it's a good thing that did not happen. Secondly, if it did happen like now, we still don't know, nobody's taken the blame for it. Nobody's taken blame and said, we did it. But everybody's now pushing it on Boko Haram. And of course, with everything going, you can see why that is the case.
I've always maintained, and I think people have said that we've got different types of Boko Haram. I think Shooks, who is our regular caller, is on the line, and I'm sure Shooks is going to have a very, very different view from us. And we're happy to have Shooks back on the program. Shooks, good evening.
Hi, Shooks.
Nice dressing.
If Shooks is still there, we want you to have a conversation with us. Good evening, Shooks.
Good evening, Kayode.
Chooks, I can hardly hear you, but just stay on the line. We're going to try and even this up to make sure that we have you on. So what do you have to say on the assassination attempt on General Buhari?
Kayode,
yeah.
First of all, there is nothing like attempt of assassination.
Okay.
Because many Nigerians have been dying, and we have not seen it as an attempt of assassination. Okay. General Muhaammadu Buhari is not different from those that died in Nyanya.
Absolutely.
Nyanya blast.
That's true.
Yeah.
The issue of Boko Haram, you see, I'm not a fan to Jonathan. I'm not a fan to anybody. I'm not speaking of party system.
Yeah.
But the issue of Boko Haram, it is high time the leaders and the elders in the north will come out and address this. You see, when you call a spade, it becomes a spade. When you call a spade a knife,
yeah.
in your eyes, it will be looking like a knife. The Northerners, it's not a game of condemning, coming to TV or radio program to say we condemn. We are talking about condemning. We are saying a total stop. What do you want?
Okay.
Boko Haram is talking about Western education.
Yeah.
Now, if you see the armor tank used by Boko Haram, it's in Arabic language. It's written in Arabic language.
Okay, Chooks, let me quickly happen. Yeah, we do acknowledge the fact that Nigerians are being killed, and I must say that more than 12,000 Nigerians have been killed so far. Let me ask you, if Buhari had been killed yesterday, will it be business as usual?
If Buhari was killed yesterday, to be honest with you, I know that either Nigeria should have been a broken nation by now, or a serious war would have started. Because people see the Northerners see Buhari as the face of the North. Okay. And I'm just saying it from my own opinion.
Absolutely, yeah.
People from across the Niger are seeing Buhari as a different, seeing him as a man in the mask.
Yeah.
So the Northern elders should come out and say, we from the Northern elders, this is what we want. This is what we are going to do. It's not only pointing at Jonathan and Jonathan.
Okay, before you go, I think Ngozi has got a question. Before, so that we can let any other
No, I don't have a question. I was just listening to what he said, but I do have to say that I agree with him in terms of when this kind of a thing happens, they should, the Northern elders should come together and say, we condemn
Okay,
this.
so we take your point, Chooks, there. The Northern leaders need to do more. So thank you for calling in. And he did say, though, if Buhari had been killed yesterday, it would have been a different ball game. Because this is a man that is actually quite popular from everything we know in the North. And we're quite saddened by the fact that a lot of Nigerians were killed yesterday. I mean, almost 100 Nigerians got killed yesterday. Absolutely. You know, and I think even the death of one Nigeria should have serious implications for our country. We shouldn't wait till a known name is affected by this calamity
and
we are in.
And if you think about it, the number of people that died, the issue is still focusing on the fact that it was Buhari that was targeted, as opposed to the people who also died around him. It's just the nature of the beast, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Just the nature
so I think we've got another caller on the line. Good evening. I understand your name is Ben. You're calling from London. Good evening, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
I'm sure we still have Ben on the line, and we want you to...
Ben, my name is Ben.
All right, Ben. Ngozi, go ahead and contribute here.
Yes. I want to make a comment about this Buhari thing.
Yeah.
People, I keep saying it, Nigerians are wiser now, especially with all that's been going on about this Boko Haram issue. Okay. To be honest, that same Buhari sort of incident, if you've been going by what has been happening in the press, is something that was staged.
Okay.
It's also geared towards that Jonathan and the 2015 something. That thing is a stage something for Buhari to create same problem for the Jonathan. And I don't think Buhari is going to succeed.
Sorry, Ben.
He is looking at.
Ben, sorry to interrupt you. Ben, sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to know for sure what you said. I just wanted to confirm what you said. Did you say that you think that this incident that happened was staged by Buhari?
Definitely. and you will know.
Can you tell me a bit about why you say that? Just, you know, a tiny point of why you say that.
That has been following the policy and the way it is played in Nigeria. You have been seeing some utterances of what things they have been saying about the same issue.
Okay, Ben, thanks for calling. But before you go, I would like to ask you this question. Do you think the attempt on the life of Nadeco leaders during those times, because those were the claims of Abacha then, when Kudirat was killed, when pro-democracy activists were killed, the same argument you put forward, Abacha was saying they stage managed, let me finish, they stage managed it. So do you think this is another thing?
It's another stage managed something.
Okay, so like the Abacha period.
How do you think he would have succeeded?
Okay,
how do you think he would have?
So like the Abacha period where the Kudirat people stage managed their death, this one too is trying to stage manage his death.
It is a stage managed something.
Okay,
that issue is a totally different thing.
Okay.
They are in no way related.
Oh, okay.
But Ben, just one final question before you go. If the attempt did succeed and Buhari was dead, would you still say?
If it was planned to succeed, it was not planned to succeed.
Okay.
People died.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks so much.
you.
Thanks so much, Ben, for calling. I want to read this text message. It's from Dan in London, who says, PDP want to eliminate all opposition. This was an assassination. Boko Haram is just a divisive tactics by the government. Dan from London. And we encourage you to keep calling in. Very interesting view from Ben there. Buhari suddenly stage managed his death and killed 25 people in the process. Kudirat Abiola did not stage manage our own assassination. And that's quite interesting. And we want to know your perspective and your view on this issue of the assassination attempt on the life of General Buhari. Do you find that interesting?
I do find it interesting. There are people on Twitter actually that are agreeing with Ben and saying that Ben has a valid point. They think it's, you know, staged. But my question is, let's say it was staged, and let's just say it was staged, and we know that mistakes do happen, and actually a mistake happened and he died. What would they be saying? Okay,
let's hear what the next caller has got to say about that. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, my name is Kamal. I'm calling from Glasgow, Scotland.
Okay, you've heard them say Buhari stage managed his own assassination. What's your view?
Yeah, in fact, that's why I thought I should call.
Okay.
Because I think I have to look at this thing from a very objective point of view.
All right.
You see, all these tribal sentiments and all these thinking that person is managed is what has led us to where we are at the moment. Okay. And I think the earlier we tell ourselves the truth, come out enemy, the better for the whole country. So I don't see any sense, or I can't get it around my head that somebody will manage a bomb blast on himself. Like another person.
Okay, does it surprise you that the argument about Buhari stage managing his own death is coming from a section of the country?
Yeah, I'm not surprised actually, because many people think in that sort of direction. I'm sure what he's speaking is the opinion of very many people, and they are entitled to their own opinion. Okay. I'm not speaking because I'm from the north.
Okay.
I'm just looking at it from a very clear point of view that I cannot manage my own attack on myself just to make another person look bad. And if I'm going to do that, it should be at my house or something, not when I'm planning to travel to my hometown to go for Salah celebrations.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Kamal, what do you...
There's so many dots that do not connect.
Okay.
Kamal, what do you think? If it had succeeded and Buhari was dead, what do you think?
It would have been catastrophic for Nigeria. We're really grateful to God that the attack did not succeed, and we thank God that it stopped at that. Too many lives were lost. Every life means a lot to us.
And also, having said that, do you think, about what our first caller said, that it would be good if the leaders of the North were to come together and actually condemn?
Exactly. We have fundamental problems in the north of Nigeria. There's lack of leadership, and there's lack of unity. So if the leaders of the north, so to say, come together and speak in one voice, I believe some of these problems will be easier to tackle.
Okay,
Brilliant.
thanks, Kamal, for calling.
Thank you,
I've
Kamal.
got another caller here. Hello, good evening.
All right, thank you. You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah, good evening. Where are you calling from and what's your name, please?
Hello.
Can you just reduce the volume of your TV set so we can hear you clearly?
Hello.
Hello, so where are you calling from, please, and what's your name? Well, you need to reduce the volume of your TV set. Let's take we've got another caller on the line. When you call us, and we know a lot of people want to call into this program, we just want to encourage you to please just reduce the volume of your TV set so we won't have feedback in the studio. So that's an interesting take there.
It is an interesting take. Actually, I have on Twitter, Kule saying that why would he have a walk around immediately after this bomb blast has happened? He's saying that if his life was in danger, the first thing he would do would be to get away. Okay. Now, when you think about it, that is a valid point. Yeah. However, that would be obviously feeding into the conspiracy theory that he definitely did plan his own assassination.
Okay, I've got Kenneth on the line. I wonder what Kenneth has got to say to this. Kenneth, good evening, and thanks for calling into the program.
Yeah, good evening, Kenneth.
Yeah, where are you calling from, Kenneth?
I'm calling from Dagenham.
All right, go ahead, Kenneth.
Yeah, Kenneth, don't forget that Buhari is is not different from ordinary Nigerians.
I agree with you, absolutely.
Yeah, so I tell you, there is nothing will happen because he has been antagonizing Jonathan administration right from time. Yeah. I am not tribalistic. I am not trying to side anybody. Even Jonathan administration is not favoring Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians, right? But Buhari has not been a good government in that country. So nobody will die if they kill him because the Northerners has been the problem of that country. Do you understand? Yeah. The northern part of the country has been the problem the Nigerian people are having.
Okay. And Kenneth, Kenneth.
Nobody's gonna die. I wish they kill him.
Kenneth.
He will die like every other person.
Kenneth, before you wish death on anybody, can we also say that to actually support what you're saying, Abiola died and the country did not go on fire. I mean, as in, we still remain united, really, and the ruling class, the thieving elites had a way of coming together, except those of us who wish each other death on every other person. So Ngozi has got a question for you.
No, the question I was going to say was if we all thought and said the sort of things that you say, Kenneth, because you were very vocal about saying that he wished he would die. Isn't that like inciting racial conflict? I mean, or I don't know, tribal conflict, if you like, and inciting war where... But because they killed, should we carry on killing? Is that what would make it right?
It's like what you people are saying is, who knows what Nigeria would have been this time? If Buhari died, Nigeria will still move on.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, Kenneth, we respect your opinion. I've got another caller on the line. The phone lines are going crazy now. So good evening. Hello, good evening. Okay, I think we've lost that caller, and that is quite amazing. And let me say this, on this program, we don't wish death on anybody. We want justice. We want people to be taken to court, tried for any offense they make. That's the democratic way to go. We also think there's a need for peace to return to Nigeria. We can't continue with this tribal hatred, this hatred that if somebody is from a part of the country, then they must die. I oppose the government of Goodluck Jonathan, but I wish him well personally as a person and his family. And it's important that even when we oppose the policies of government and the person in government, that we should wish them well and just take on their policies. I've got Taro on the line. Good evening, Taro. Where are you calling from, please?
Hello, good evening, Taro. Good evening to you guys.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for the show.
Thank you.
So the incident yesterday, I think there's so much, we've focused too much on Buhari.
Okay.
But listen, if Buhari died yesterday, and I don't wish him to die, nothing could have happened.
Yeah.
There could have been one or two crises, and things would have been sorted out. Okay. But I think it is a lesson for all of us, and it is a lesson to Mr. Buhari as well. Yeah. You know, it's easy to criticize the government of the day and say they're not doing well, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. I hope this incident and the fact that his life has been put in danger, I don't personally believe it has been state-managed, but I think people deliberately using that opportunity to cause confusion.
Yeah.
Obviously, remember, it's easy for us to say there's a certain section of
part of Nigeria, but I'm from two sections of Nigeria myself. I'm from the southwest and from the south-south. You understand?
Yeah.
See, people have been overly critical about Jonathan, and I've also called your show one time, and I've said to you as well, it's like the emphasis is so much concentrated on the center.
Yeah.
We're not scrutinizing our governors enough. We're not scrutinizing our local government enough. We've got 36 states, right? If the governors were doing their job, rather than constantly bashing the president, if the 36 states were mini countries, they should develop. But why is it every governor is not minding their business, but they're abusing the president? I'm not speaking for
Taro, before we let you go, Taro, do you believe, I don't, I do respect your opinion, really, and I think, yes, we should focus on our local governments. But I don't think Jonathan has been criticized any less than Obasanjo less than...
I think, to be honest, if you've been fair, there's been certain sections. I'm from the southwest. I'm a Yoruba man myself. And I know the APC-led government sometimes. They've called the president a fool. He's been called clueless. He's been doing things. The man has been over-criticized. You know what I mean? We're not saying we shouldn't criticize him or scrutinize him. But the thing is, you've got to remember, right, we live in a very sensitive environment. I'm from the south-south. You know what I mean? When you keep criticizing a particular individual, not because of his ability, but because you think it's from
all right, Taro, I would have to let you go, and it's got a very important point there, because he's saying that people, it seems that there's so much emphasis on the center.
But I have said that to you before as well. I think that he's definitely right in that instance, and I think also that what he said about Jonathan, I've read in so many different reports that he's the most vilified president of our time. I'm not sure why that is, but you know.
Okay, maybe because he has equaled and surpassed the number of money stolen by every other government. $20 billion is missing. They told us no, it's not missing.
Not missing.
A
lot of things have happened.
Maybe because under him we've got more corruption pronounced than any other government. And I think it's a fair point. Obama, as it is one of the most vilified president in America, and he has not come with this victim mentality or a small mind mentality of you're criticizing me. He gets the business going, and I think we need to develop that. Before we go into the second segment of the show, I've got Adeola on the line, and it'll be interesting to see what Adeola has got to say. Good evening, Adeola.
Good evening.
Hi, Adeola.
Hi, where are you calling from, please?
I'm from Preston, Lancashire.
All right, go ahead, please.
This is the problem. Everybody goes scot-free with whatever happens in the country, and this is why we're in this mess.
Okay.
There is nobody who is superior than any other Nigerian. Every Nigerian is equal. If killings is happening here and there in Nigeria, Boko Haram is terrorizing everybody in the north. They are moving gradually to the other parts of the country, and they are going scot-free. There is murder going on in the country every now and then. Ascertained going on in the country every now and then. Everybody does whatever they like, and they go scot-free with it. This is why we are in this mess. Even if Buhari staged what happened yesterday, he was able to stage it because he knows nothing is going to happen. I will go scot-free with it. At the end of the day, let the government sit aside and let us have a very, a working system that will prosecute anybody, you killed somebody and you go scot-free. You understand what I mean?
I get you, Adeola.
People will be like, yeah, I can do that and I can go scot-free.
Yeah, and Adeola, I really want to.
You can't do anything.
Yeah, I want to thank you for calling because we've got quite another segment of the program going on that is coming shortly. I've got another call on the line. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Where are you calling from and what's your name, please?
I'm calling from London. My name is Brian.
All right, go ahead, Brian. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I just want to comment generally on the issues that you've been talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the explosions that happened yesterday.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Regarding the 200 girls missing.
We are concentrating tonight on the implication of if Buhari had been killed yesterday on Nigeria.
Okay, because basically regarding Buhari, a lot of comments going on the internet are like, because a lot of people believe that Buhari may have been sponsoring these guys, and now he's being in target.
Okay.
Therefore, guys can probably grow bigger than him and do not need him anymore.
Okay, so you think it's like a Frankenstein monster, isn't it?
In fact, it's a monster that has been created, and the creator has no control over it anymore.
Okay, great. Thanks for calling, and we take your point. And
before we go, just very quickly on Twitter, some people are saying APC United Kingdom is saying that Buhari did not have a walk around, that his SUV was damaged and he was waiting for another security car to get away in.
Okay.
I mean, at the same site. And this person says, Kaede, you are the chief abuser-in-chief of the president, JEJ. What do you have to say?
I raise my hand up. I am not a fan. I think, let me make this clear. I think President Jonathan has got the potential to be one of the greatest presidents Nigeria would ever produce. I think when he came in, he's got the support of people from across the country. Even though I supported General Buhari in 2011, I believe that the momentum for President Jonathan was so huge that it could have transformed our country. And that was one of the things that inspired me to march in the cold when Yar'Adua wanted to deprive him and campaign that he must be made president. So this is not about his person, but it's about his inability to grab the momentum, to grab the opportunity for our country, to move our country forward in a way whereby he should take corruption seriously. He should fight even corruption, even though if that corruption is coming from under his bedroom. You know, and these are the issues that are facing our country. We have more than 1 million Nigerians in the UK today who are in this country as a result of the hopelessness we have in our country. And that is not to speak about the hundreds and millions of Nigerians, more than 70% of Nigerians who live below the poverty line in a country so rich, so endowed. So I still believe that President Jonathan can still move our country forward. All he needs to do is to stop being pedestrian and take, as a statesman, unite our country, bring us together. I mean, just like Obama, with the lowest rating in America, is doing. And on Twitter, someone is saying, if GMB died, it would have been genocide for Southerners. I wonder how anyone could make such a statement. That is at I am Alubo, you know, sort of saying that if Buhari had been killed, there would have been a genocide against Southerners.
Well, that's their opinion.
Yeah, it's been an interesting day today. That's the end of the first half of our program, the implication of Buhari's death if it had happened. And we are going to also now bring in our second guest, with our guest in the studio today, who is Deji. And these are positive young Nigerians trying to move Nigeria forward. You've always said in this program it's always been a bit negative. So we try to bring people in to tell us what they are doing. But before then, I would also want to say to you that Ngozi Gail is going to be driving this program forward in my absence in the next 3 weeks, because we're going out there to Nigeria to get materials for our viewers in the diaspora. And we want you to just stay on. We would take this phone call. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Where are you calling from and what's your name, please?
Well, this is Ben Television.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Well, this is Chris calling from London.
Yeah.
I want to speak if Kaede is on the line.
You are speaking to Kaede. You're live now.
Okay, Kaede. You see, this is your program. I very much enjoy you opening what is happening in Nigeria out here for us to be aware of what is happening. I'm glad, first and foremost, I'm glad to get you to you today, because every time I told you that your program is just a repeated program. That's why the line has not been going through.
Okay.
Let's talk about that Jonathan, the president, we do this, do that, do that. Have you asked yourself, do you know that in Nigeria we have the most difficult 170 million?
You just made my I think because of your passion, you just made my co-presenter jump on my camera there. But go ahead, I'm listening to you. I'm taking this criticism on board.
So as I said, we Nigerians, we are fond of just crucifying the ruling president, instead of everybody to come together to work for the good of everybody in that country. We are just there. Jonathan is just one entity. Yeah. It's not, yes, I know what they used to say, that as the head, everything that goes good, he bears it, and when it goes wrong, he bears it. But one thing you have to do is that you have to realize, like one of the callers that called and said we have 36 36 states in Nigeria. Everybody know the way the Governor Abadi of Akwa Ibom has done. The other governors have been doing this. Good states that have been, you can see the transformation that they have been doing. If everybody in that country, every governors do the way all these other governors are doing, of course, because the way will go to the president. But
Okay.
why?
I want to, because I've given you so much time now, I want to tell you that,
Thank you very much.
no, just go ahead, stay on the line. I want you to stay on the line. On Ben TV, you have different perspective. You can tune in the morning AM program where you get a lot of kudos for President Jonathan, and it's fair, but on this program, it's going to be from where we see it, and of course, we're going to also have people calling, and if you can mention a lot of things. You've mentioned Akwa Ibom State, and I do concede to you that, yeah, there's some things going on in Akwa Ibom State. I also concede to you that in Ekiti State, the outgoing governor, did quite well, but now we're going to have a new governor. In Lagos State, even despite my criticism of Fashola as with his anti-poor policies, we still do acknowledge. But on Ben TV, you're going to have two perspectives. You're going to tune in the morning, and they're going to be fair. They're going to tell you about how good Jonathan is, and that is fair, and that is democracy. But we are also going to also speak for the minority, the voice of the voiceless, and we also appreciate the fact that you are calling in. So thanks so much for calling in. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Work together.
I take that on board. Yeah, we need to work together as one country. And that's our caller who feels that we need to be fair on President Goodluck Jonathan. And I do agree that we need to be fair on President Goodluck Jonathan. But we should not also shy away from the fact that our country is, as usual, on the brink. And we cannot, because people think we're being unfair, silence our voice. So just we'll take a break shortly so that we can have our guest, Deji, and this is for our caller to know that we still have young Nigerians trying to do something positive about Nigeria. Don't go away. You're on Politics with KO. Don't miss the debates by Nigerians and friends of Nigeria on issues surrounding Nigeria from around the world. My name is Kayode Okindamisi. Back to Politics with KO, and we're live in the UK, and it's going to be the second segment of our program. Now we're on a positive note. I'm smiling now, actually, because we're going to be talking about young people, young professionals in the UK, in diaspora and at home. What are they doing as it relates to nation building? And I've been calling him Deji Balogun all day, but it's not Deji Balogun, it's actually Damilola Balogun. Damilola Balogun, that is, and you're welcome to Politics with KO. It's good to have you here. Now, tell us, what is a network of young Nigerians? What is it all about?
Okay, it's the NYPF, Nigerian Young Professionals Forum, and it's a non-governmental organization, and the idea, the way I think best simply put it, is in three steps. Okay. Number one, mobilize the wealth of well-trained Nigerians that are abroad. And the second step is, as a result of that collection of talent and expertise, it would encourage younger Nigerians who've identified certain gaps to be able to fill those gaps in Nigeria. And the third issue is with regard to the population.
Okay.
If you look at the population distribution in Nigeria, we're looking at about approximately 70% being under 30 years old. That offers an unparalleled opportunity for young Nigerians to have an impact. So,
do you think young Nigerians are well represented in areas of governance? Are they given enough opportunity to contribute to nation building?
The simple answer is I don't think enough is being done. Now, if you look at the man who started this NYPF vision, his name is Moses Siasia, and he's based in Nigeria. Now, one part of the push is to have younger people in areas of governance in Nigeria. Okay. So the hope is with the collection of talented and brilliant, well-trained Nigerians, we can have a greater impact.
What if I say to you that this is not the first time we're going to be having young people in government and nothing has changed? I mean, Patutomi became a minister at the young age of 27, if I'm not mistaken. General Gowon
as well,
became president of Nigeria at the age of 29, right? And the country is in a mess. What if the argument is that whether they are young or old, Nigerians are still the same corrupt, reading people, that is not about young and old? How would you react to that?
It's a very good question. I mean, I think I've even heard the statement, someone say, you need to kill every Nigerian till 7 years old before there's a change in mentality. Now, it's a very deep question you ask me. I can only go on what we can do going forward. And this is where I try to encourage younger people, and even towards the latter stage of your previous section, it's less about pointing out the obvious problems and more about thinking about how you can fill those gaps. If you've identified a gap, then there's a good chance that you're most competent to fill it. Now, what gives me encouragement is a country like the United States of America. When we see it now, it's a global world power. But no one realizes that a lot of the issues that you were discussing in your previous section happened in the US. In the late 1890s, there were assassinations, people in power who were corrupt, people who were brought into positions of leadership. J.P. Morgan, for example, right? In 1895, he gave the US a loan from his gold reserves. That was how much monopoly he had.
And he was young then.
And the thing is, a lot of them were young. It was a mixture of young and older people. So someone like him, he was under the guidance of his father, who was older. So you get issues like that. Corruption happened in the US also. But for me, the real message is what happened afterwards.
I'm on social media and I get these people saying to me, what are you, a 46-year-old man, doing on Twitter? You should go and rest. As in that's the kind of questions I get on social media. And these are young Nigerians of 1922.
Yes.
And I said to them, what are you doing on social media when the young man who developed social media, Twitter, is, I think they are quite young.
Facebook young men.
Young men.
Yes.
Is it not the issue that it's the mutual distrust between the young and the old is more to do with access to the national cake. And young Nigerians not just making an attempt to just have their own fair share of the national cake.
Now, what you say is a very valid point, and unfortunately, most of us don't actually have the answer to that. We would never know the reason why there is that distrust. But one thing which the NYPF is trying to encourage is to provide a platform from which, if you claim you can see a gap, come and have a try. We can never know what the future is. No one knows the full solution to the problems. So, for example, part of the initiative of the NYPF is to encourage mentorship. So people in businesses can encourage people from here in the diaspora to have what we call a soft landing. And if you go on a website like movebacktonigeria.com, it has a lot of information on things like this. So it's less about.
Okay, so I've got a caller on the line. This is our first caller on this segment, and this is not a segment for Buhari, please. This is positive. This is about encouraging young Nigerians to just go home, make their own contribution, build our country. So if we're still on the line, hello. Good evening, and what's your name? Where are you calling from? Let's hear you.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
I can hardly hear you, but if you're still there on the line, just tell us what your name is.
Yeah, my name is Chris. Can you
hear me? Chris, Chris, can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Fantastic. Now, go ahead. What do you have to say about this initiative by young Nigerians?
Yeah, it's a very brilliant idea, but what I should advise the young Nigerians, they should keep on pressing, supporting, and advising their parents, their fathers, or their parents in church to at least give them a chance to forge ahead. I'm not going to mention them. If you see most of the people there in politics, the majority of them, they are over 70, but they're still rotating themselves. So how can they, and they have children that they are above 40s, they could not give them a chance. So it's high time they should start encouraging their father to retire.
Okay, yeah. So
that they can come in.
Thanks so much, Chris. And that's the point there, that if we have these young Nigerians, have parents who are in government, parents who are also contributing, you know. So why not first shift this, like Chris' point there is valid, isn't it?
Yes, completely valid. And you know, there's one mentality which us Nigerians have, and this goes right across the board.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things where if your family member is there, you know, me too, I want to chop.
Yeah.
You know, that whole idea. Now, unfortunately, that's not going to change overnight, which is why the NYPF is encouraging young Nigerians. I mean, we had the inaugural summit here in London on this Saturday gone. Yeah. Now, we also had the Nigeria High Commission support us on this. We had the head consular on education and welfare. And his message was just very clear. You know, if you see a problem, then go for it and try and solve it. Spend less time worrying about things that you don't control and more about what you control. So what do you control? Your decision. I.e., I'll make a decision to see how I can solve a problem. Yeah. We've got a conference in Abuja on the 9th of August, where we're going to have an international gathering of people. And the idea is to, you know, basically summarize what's been happening so far. Okay. The NYPF has been to the north, south, southeast, and southwest of Nigeria, rallying young people again to those 3 points. Number one, we're well trained. Let's come together. Okay. Number two, identify a gap. Let's fill it.
Okay. I'm going to take you on that. But before then, I've got Oremi on the line. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Terry.
Did I call your name right? I apologize. I said Oremi. Is that correct? Remy, oh sorry, yeah. We've got a Zimbabwean, my very good Zimbabwean friend in the studio. So, so go ahead, Remy, sorry.
I'm very happy and I'm encouraging with the young initiative which my brother was just talking about. Yeah. It is a good idea, and let's go to Nigeria. That's another problem. Those are the also, you don't want to leave the post. Yeah. Like Buhari, I'm not talking about his position. He was in the government for so many years, and he still want to come back. Okay. So they want to rotate themselves and die there.
Okay. So you're encouraged by this initiative, right?
Baba Wali Soyeke, he has started right from the youth and the family. All those people started from the young, but they didn't allow them to function. Yeah. That is the problem of the country.
Okay, thanks so much for that. Before you come in there, I've got... good evening. Where are you calling from, please? Can you make it quick, please, because we're out of time.
Yeah, what the young man there is trying to do is a very laudable project, which is good. But then, having said that, looking back to what the last two callers said, talking about the older people who have been there for long and nothing is happening. We have them in politics, the occupants of this world. But the problem is that it is their own children that they will try to bring out into such position once they are leaving, their children are getting there. Okay. Let's try to take an example, please. Yeah, look at the children, the 3 students that were discovered in Unilag a couple of probably last year in the IT department. Now, they brought out something very unique that has never happened in Nigeria. They only made mention of their name. Nothing is happening. But tomorrow they'll be talking about amnesty, giving all these guys amnesty. All of them are in US, UK, here, even in Scotland, just drinking beer all over the place.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you there. I'm so sorry because we are almost running out of time. Now, it's got a point there, and quickly, can you quickly tell us what is going to happen with your organization? What support do you want from people? Obviously, you're having a lot of support now. If you can do that in 1 minute.
I'll quickly summarize. Yeah. Your TV show has a very good slogan, which is bridging the gap. Yeah. Now, a lot of us here, young Nigerians, have identified a gap. So if you provide a platform by which we can communicate our message, which is very simple, 3 points, is all I'm saying. Number one, we're well-trained, let us come together and network. Number two, if you've identified a gap, there is a good chance you're the most competent person to fill that gap. So we would encourage you. And number three, the collective strength that we have, 70% of the population under 30, that's just crazy. Yeah. It provides a good opportunity.
Okay.
Now the NYPF in Nigeria is providing a very good platform by which we here in the diaspora can have a soft landing. Yeah. NYPFforum.org.
And I know my producer is telling me that I'm running out of time, but I'd want to say before you go, are you going to connect with the Agberos, the Omata boys, the ordinary people, and not just young Nigerians in suits on Twitter and social media who have access quickly? Is that something you're going to do?
The aim is to engage people who have the right mindset.
Okay.
That's the main thing. If you have the right mindset, you're part of it.
All right. Thanks. It's good to have you on this program, and we're going to have you again. We want to say on Twitter, it says, our parents should retire and let us young take over. That's a Twitter message on the social media. I want to thank you all for remaining faithful. We have taken a decision on this program that we are going to stop playing repeats. So when I'm away in Nigeria trying to gather materials and work for your interest and also take part in politics, as in observe things there, Ngozi Gale, your girl, is going to be holding on forth live. She's going to be taking phone calls. And a young man, I'm not going to mention his name, is going to join us in our team supporting Ngozi. And we just want to thank you all for staying faithful. We want to thank Ben TV for providing this platform. Our producer, Tony, he's been doing a very good job, Tony Olomu. And we're saying good night. God bless you. I will see you in 3 weeks' time. But the program and the show still continues next Thursday. Politics with KO, hosted by Ngozi Gale. Good night and God bless. This is Ben Television. My name is Kawo-Kaduna Okundamisi. It's your program, Politics with KO, Thursdays on this channel, Sky 182. Don't miss the debates by Nigerians and friends of Nigeria on issues surrounding Nigeria from around the world. My name is Kawo-Kaduna Okundamisi.